Civil rights pioneer Frankie Muse Freeman is a passionate advocate in a hostile world. Raised in a Jim Crow-era Virginia tobacco town, she earned a Howard University law degree in 1947, graduating second in her class.
It was recommended to several of the law firms in St. Louis that they at least accept my request. And I made contact with them. And I don't know whether it's because of gender or race, but I haven't heard from some of them yet.
Undaunted, Ms. Freeman opened her own law office, but clients were scarce.
A person came in, wanted a lawyer, and I said, I'm a lawyer. He said, looked at me. I don't want a lawyer woman. And he walked out. But at least I didn't give up.
Working with the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, Ms. Freeman litigated several landmark cases, including Bruton v. Board of Education, predating Brown v. Board of Education by 5 years and challenging St. Louis's application of the separate but equal doctrine in schools. In 1964, President Lyndon Johnson appointed Ms. Freeman as the first woman named to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, serving 16 years and 4 presidents. For many years, she was the only woman on the commission and the only African American. She collected shocking first-hand accounts of racial discrimination across America during the 1960s.
And during that time, there were so many things that were happening in the southern states, Mississippi, Alabama, and so forth. There were murders and churches were burned because of what they were trying to do to get black people registered to vote. There's been a lot of progress, but the struggle continues. In my own way, in my own space, in my own time, I have tried to be of service, and tried to make a difference.
Now, in honor of the meeting in St. Louis of the National Consortium on Racial and Ethnic Fairness in the Courts, Missouri Supreme Court Judge George Draper sat down with Frankie Freeman. Ms. Freeman celebrated her 100th birthday last October.
Well, but what made you decide to become a lawyer? Why a lawyer instead of a social worker?
Oh my goodness. What made me decide? Because I could read and realize the racial discrimination was existing, and knew, of course, that it was experienced it, and so I was going to become a lawyer and do what I could to make a difference.
You know, that's a fine goal, but a woman back in the late 1940s was kind of expected to stay home and be a housewife.
Well, that may have been what somebody expected, but not my family.
Okay. Well, your husband was educated, well-educated man.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He wouldn't have been my husband if he hadn't been.
Shelby Freeman.
Absolutely.
The U.S. Commission on Civil Rights.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Which I served for a long time.
Okay. Did you have some hearings in Mississippi?
Yes.
And with respect to voter
yes.
intimidation?
Yes, we did.
And in fact, you demanded that you go see some of the churches that had been damaged.
I saw some of the churches. They had been a lot, and so I wanted to at least see some of the people who had caused some of the damage. And I also worked to find out, get some of the people as witnesses to testify and tell us what they knew and what they had done.
Did you know at the time you were handling those cases, either cases you had for the NAACP or the witnesses that you were hearing on the commission, did you know at that time how important that would be in advancing civil rights in St. Louis?
No, I didn't. No, I was just at that time just handling the cases and doing the best I could to win and to make a difference at the time for what the issues were.
Just doing the work that you were trained to do.
That's right.
What did you most enjoy about being an attorney?
Oh, the fact that you can do what you can to improve the law and use the law to make a difference. And very often the law is available to people who don't recognize it. And I think that what they have to do is to know what it is that you need to do and know and work and use it if necessary, where necessary, in whatever way necessary, to improve whatever problems you encounter or think need to be changed.
Let me ask you this. What advice would you have for young people, especially women of color, today going forward in the law?
Do your best. First of all, if you're going forward in the law, know the law and do your best to improve the law where you think it needs to be done.
Mrs. Freeman, I'd like to thank you so much for sitting with us.
Thank you for including me.
I think the folks here are really going to enjoy seeing you. We really appreciate the service that you've given to the community and this nation over the course of your time as an attorney.
I thank you, and I thank the opportunity to be of service, because I think that's what God expects of all of us, to do our best. And I've tried always to do my best. And I've never had to do it by myself. I've always been blessed to have a family that was working with me and supported me. And a daughter and other members of my family who have also worked. Them done their best, and I'm blessed because of them and for them.
Indeed you are, and indeed we are.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.